All right, fam, what's happening? We're starting out just a wee bit different today on the bench, and we're going to continue with part 2 of our series of installing our electronics in the EXB 1/5 scale Kraton. So before we go any further, we're going to do the normal stuff. We got to pay those bills, and you know, in order to do that, I got to roll that intro footage.
Sinista Productions.
All right, fam, thanks for coming back. Appreciate you sticking it with us on this journey, which is part 2 of the electronics install into our Kraton EXB 1/5 scale roller. We've already installed the Savox Sierra Whiskey 0241 Mike Golf servo into our servo and receiver box, and we also have our FlySky FGR4 installed in the receiver box. We did that on the previous video, as you can see here, done. So the next thing we're going to do is install the cap on top of this receiver box, which is going to house the ESC of our choice. And in this case, the ESC that we're going to be using is the Castle Creation Mamba XL X2. Now, we just updated earlier this morning the firmware for the XLX2, which is 2.12. So we've got the most current firmware on here, and we shouldn't have any problems with this ESC. But if we do, we can always go to Castle. We got a defective product. Hopefully they'll stand behind it, and we can get a new product or a new receiver, ESC, to replace this one. So in order to install this ESC onto the ESC receiver box, well, it's simple. We have to install this cap, which the ESC is going to sit on. But one word of caution, if you're going to use the XLX2, let's take a closer look at this receiver box cap. Now, you can see barely here, and it's a little out of focus. Let me get that back in. Here we go. We have nubs here. All right, and these nubs, I believe, are already preset to fit the, if I'm wrong, could be the Arrma series of ESCs for the Kraton. All right, since we're not going to use an Arrma ESC, we're using the Castle Creations XLX2, these nubs are in the way. You'll see here, for instance, in this spot right here, the nub is in the way. We cannot lay or adhere this to the cap flatly with some double-sided tape, which again, I'm going to use the Gorilla Tape because those nubs are in the way. And they do not line up with the screw holes, the preset screw holes on the bottom of the XLX2. So, simple remedy for that. We're going to take our multi-tool, our Dremel-like tool, which I'm using the Win, this orange and black Win right here with the drum head sander on it. And we're going to sand down those nubs. Piece of cake. It's going to sand it down, clean it off, rub it down with some alcohol, then move on to the next step. So let's get started with that. Okay, before we get started, always safety first. So I do have my safety glasses on, and I want to send a quick shout out to, first and foremost, Dirty Boys RC 732, my man Buddha up in New Jersey, Brick City. Got some stickers from him, blessed us with these stickers. And my man Lyndon RC 215 in Philly also blessed me with some stickers. Yo, appreciate it. Much love to Dirty Boys RC 732 and Lyndon RC 215, both in Jersey and Philly. Appreciate the stickers. You know you got love and support from Sinista Productions as always. So now, fam, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this receiver box top or cap, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to sand down these 4 nubs. Let me come in close again. We're going to sand these 4 nubs down right here. All right, so we can get that ESC to fit nice, smooth, and clean on top of this receiver box cap. So Got it all sanded down nice and smooth, very easy. We use the alcohol so that when we apply our adhesive on here, we have a good clean surface. I'm gonna do it again because I've been touching it. I don't want any of the oils from my hands and my fingers on there. But now you'll see that when we put our ESC onto the cap, we are nice and flush and smooth all throughout. It's gonna fit fine and perfectly once we adhere it to the cap. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this down again with some more alcohol. Let that dry for a second. You wipe off any extra lint. I'm going, through a few extra steps. You don't have to. So don't worry about all the precautions I'm taking as far as the alcohol, but I just want to ensure that I get a nice, good fit when I do place the ESC on top of this receiver box cap. So now I'm going to take my Gorilla double-sided mounting tape, all right? And I've already marked off a spot where I'm going to put the receiver, so I'm going to lay some tape down right along here. All right, I'm going to cut it down because I don't need it to fit all the way to the edge. All right, and now I'm going to lay another strip of tape down. You can kind of see already what I'm working with as far as the tape. So we're going to lay another strip of tape down in the same length, approximately right next to the first strip. Got it laid down in the fashion that I want. Perfect. And now it's time to put the ESC on top of the box cap. Okay, now we've got our tape protective covering off, and we're going to place the ESC with the bullet connectors facing me or facing right here on the cap. There we go. The word Arrma right here. Our bullet connectors ports are going to be on this, facing this portion here. So let's get back down. And we're going to take this, make sure our wiring is out of the way. We're going to line this up as best as we can, and we've got a good seal. Now, a little tip, if you want to, before you actually place your item onto the tape, if you want to heat your tape up a little bit with the heat gun, that'll ensure that once you place it on and it starts to cure, that you get a really good tight fit. Not necessary, not 100%, but that is an extra step that you may want to take to ensure that you don't have anything come off. But this is not going anywhere. Got a nice, clean, flat surface. Boom. Now we're ready to move on to the next step, which is even more simple. We're going to be applying or placing the silicone rubber stripping into the servo and receiver box so that when we clamp this down, it'll be waterproof. So let's move on to that step.
Like something else?
I don't know what's the matter with me. One other thing.
Oh, we almost skipped one important thing. We have to install another one of these foam grommets or protective pieces for your wiring right here. It's going to be hard to get that in focus. There it is. And a little light on the subject will help. But anyway, we're going to be installing this foam piece right here. And I'm sorry about the focus because it's so small. Okay, and we're going to install that right here down in this channel right here for your wiring so that you're not getting any rubbing of the wiring. So I'll do that right now. As you can see, there's the foam piece right here. All right, and we just push that down in. Okay, with our receiver and servo box in hand, just like this, we take our, this happens to be red in this case, our red silicone gasket, place it right down over the receiver box like this, similar to this. All right, that's how you want it to look. Okay, so I've got the gasket on again, all right, and I went ahead and routed my wires and I connected those to the receiver. Now I'm going to take the entire ESC box end cap and set it on top, and then now I'm going to lock it down. But I did want to show you a few up close pictures of the wiring ran into the receiver box. I do have excess wiring. That's fine for now. Once I put this into the crate and get it all installed, I'll tidy up the wires later. I'm not going to worry about it now. I want to have some extra wire just in case I need to move anything around. Then I'll tuck and tie and place away. So I'm going to lock down the receiver box on top of, the ESC on top of the receiver box. And to do that, you're going to use these M3 by 10 flathead screws. I got the round bubble, the cap heads. Let me get that out of the way. And to do that, you're going to use these M3 by 10 flathead screws right here. I'll get as close as I can and the best with the focus. So you're going to use these, and I believe we're going to use 3/6 of these to lock it down. So let's go ahead and lock that down, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay fam, we've got the ESC locked down to the receiver and servo box, but there is one word of caution that I'm going to let you know about. If you're using this Savox SW-0241 Metal Gear 1/5 scale servo and you follow the instructions in the instruction book to put this together, don't tighten these 4 bolts here too tight, because if you have this locked down in place, when you go to put this cap on top of the receiver box and servo combo, the receiver is going to be sitting too far back, and it's going to cause this cap not to want to fit. So back these screws off a little bit, fit your cap, screw it down, then retighten these 4 screws to lock your servo into the box. All right, fam, we're at the end of another one. This is part 2. We're complete for now. We've got the Castle Creations X-Ray Lima X-Ray 2, that's XLX2 ESC, mounted on top of our servo box, which includes our servo and receiver. And the servo again is the Savox Sierra Whiskey-0241 Mike Golf, that's SW-0241 MG. And we're using the receiver from FlySky, which is the Frank Golf Romeo 4, that's FGR4, as our receiver. Everything was simple, easy to put together. Just remember, if you've already locked in your servo, to back those 4 bolts out just a bit, because if you don't, the ESC mount and plate will not want to fit square and proper onto the servo and receiver box, and you'll find yourself having to force it in, and you don't want to do that. So back those screws out, put your plate on top, lock that in, and then tighten down your screws for the servo. And that is it. Really easy, really quick, really simple. Again, I want to throw another shout out to my man, Lyndon RC215. Let me see if I can get him in. Lyndon RC215 in Philly. And I also want to send a shout out to my boy Buddha and the Dirty Boys RC732 Club up in New Jersey for sending me the cool stickers. And again, as always, much love from your partner, Sinista Productions. So fam, that's it. We come to the end of another one. Part 3, we're going to go ahead and install the servo saver, and then we'll probably work on the motor. I do have to get another part that I want to use, which is a plate, which allows me to mount the switch, which is right here. Let me make sure I get that in. Mount the switch on the side of the fan so it's nice and neat and tucked in its place. And again, I also mentioned that we have excess wiring that you see here. Don't worry about all that excess wiring for now. We'll tuck that in and neaten that up once we install the entire receiver, ESC, and servo box into the Kraton. Then we'll figure out our wire management and install everything back in place at that point so that it is nice and neat, out of the way, and looks presentable, and we don't have to worry about anything getting caught or tangled as the Kraton is doing. Again, fam, as I close this out, I want to send another shout out to Lyndon RC215 and Dirty Boys RC732 for providing the dope stickers. You know how we do in the RC community. It's about one family. It's about the we, the us. It is not about the I. We share information. We share knowledge. We take care of each other. We better each other, and we advance the community. Not for ourselves, but we do it for each other. So fam, I have nothing else to say. No more talk. I am Jay of Jay Sinista Productions, exiting stage left.
Jay Sinista Productions. Jay Sinista Productions. Jay Sinista Productions.